channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you guys how I found out I was pregnant at 16. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. So I found out I was pregnant when I was 6 weeks along. I only had a suspicion I was pregnant because I was puking all the time. I never really had like a regular period. I had stopped taking my birth control, I want to say last year, so September 2018, because I didn't like the birth control I was on. I hated not getting a period on it. I was on the needle and I hated it. I liked getting my period because it made me feel confident that oh, okay, I'm not pregnant. But I hadn't been on it. My doctor's appointments kept getting canceled or rescheduled, and I never had a chance to go get a new birth control. And because I've already been on so many, I couldn't just go to a clinic and ask them to get me on birth control. I had to have my doctor prescribe me a birth control. So I wasn't on birth control, and when I met my boyfriend earlier this year in March, in the beginning of March, I had told him that I wasn't on birth control, so we were being pretty safe for the first couple months. And then July rolled around and I thought I was pregnant in the beginning because I didn't have a period and it was starting to become more regular, but I thought I was pregnant. And then I got my period on Canada Day. Didn't worry about it. I was definitely not the most responsible during the summer. I did a lot of stuff that I'm not proud of, but a lot of the time when my period was a little late or I didn't get it in a month, I just assumed like, oh, it's just because the stuff I'm doing. I'm very unhealthy right now. I lost a lot of weight. I just assumed like it was just me, what I was doing in my free time, that was causing my period to not come. So after August, it was the end of August and I hadn't gotten a period yet. So I was getting a little concerned, and I couldn't remember when I had my last period. So when I talked to my mom told me to go through my texts with people and try to see if I maybe asked for a tampon or something. So I tried, and I found out the last day of my period was July 28th. So I kind of assumed maybe I just got 2 periods in 1 month to make up for a lost month or something. Like instead of getting it in August, I got 2 in July. One in the beginning, one at the end. But turns out that wasn't the case. I had to keep calling in sick to work because I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't eat anything. Everything made me nauseous. So after calling in sick to work a couple times, I ended up losing my job, but I mean, it was kind of my own fault because I was calling in sick so often. I didn't really have a good excuse other than I'm puking, and that kind of sounds like an excuse after so long. September 6th came around. I think that was the day anyways. And I had been talking to my mom saying like, I haven't gotten my period yet. I've been puking all the time. I think I might be pregnant, but I had so many pregnancy scares in the past where like I didn't get a period or I was late, and I just talked to my mom about all this stuff so often that my mom was kind of like, oh my god, like you're not pregnant, like you're fine, we'll go buy you a test in case. And see, me and my mom were really close. She had me when she was 16, so I wasn't really scared to like find out I was pregnant with my mom because, well, she went through the same thing. I knew she'd be a little mad if I was, but I knew it was not something that we could all handle and deal with. And right after my uncle, my mom's brother, told the family that him and his girlfriend were expecting a baby, I knew like I had to get a pregnancy test. I had known that I was pregnant since like the 14th of August. I just had this like gut feeling, like I had never felt this way before. I knew I was pregnant, but I wasn't sure also, so I kept doing stupid things like drinking or smoking weed, and I wasn't being very healthy or responsible with it, but I also wasn't going to stop doing things if I didn't think I was pregnant. I had a feeling I was, but also I've had that feeling in the past and it was nothing. So me and my mom ended up going to a corner store and buying a pregnancy test, and I came home and my mom told me to go take it and that she would be upstairs waiting for me to tell her what the test was. I went downstairs and peed in a cup and did my thing, and in less than 10 seconds there were 2 lines on it, and immediately I was like scared, sad, happy, excited, like terrified. I just felt so many things all at once. I think I was scared to tell my mom, even though I knew she would be okay with it. I was still scared to disappoint her. So I went upstairs and I didn't say anything. I just handed my mom the test and she looked at it and she seen the 2 lines and she started crying. Then I started crying and my dad started crying and everybody started crying, and we all kind of hugged, and everybody told me, especially my dad, he told me that everything was going to be okay and that we would figure it out no matter what. Like anything I wanted to do, whether I wanted to keep it or have an abortion or do anything, he was going to be there to help me. I ended up panicking because I looked at the time and I realized that my boyfriend was getting off of work then. So my dad went to go get him, and my dad met him while my boyfriend was biking home and told him, "You need to come to my house right now." He kind of got scared at first and he showed up and he was calling me like, why do I have to come to your house? Like, what's going on? And I kept saying like, don't worry about it, like it's fine, everything is fine, like we'll talk about it when you get here, just don't worry about it, don't stress out, like you're not in trouble, just please come over. He ended up coming over. I was trying not to cry in front of him so that he didn't think anything was wrong, but also like I knew he could just tell by the look on my face. We went down to my room and I started crying. And he started asking me like, what's wrong, are you okay, like what's going on, I'm scared, like are you all right? And I told him I'm pregnant, and I can't tell if he smiled or like looked shocked. It's kind of a mixture of the two, but he said, all right, everything's gonna be okay, we're gonna figure it out, what do you want to do? And I told him I don't want to get an abortion, I have to keep this baby because personally I don't care about what anybody else does with their body. You know, your choice, it's your own body. I could never get an abortion myself, but if other people, if that's what they wanted to do, then no judgment on my side. So I told him that. I said, I can't get an abortion, I need to go through with this pregnancy. He said, all right, we can do that, I love you. And we just kind of sat there and I cried a little bit more. I didn't want to go to school the next day, so my mom ended up calling the school and I didn't have to go into school for the rest of the week. But I was so scared of like how people in my town would react. I didn't have the best reputation in any way. Like I was not a good person, so I was very nervous about everything anybody was going to say. I was nervous about how his parents were going to react. I was nervous about how my grandparents and the rest of my family were going to react, which I'm going to make a whole other video on how everybody in my family and his family reacted. But the next day I ended up going to his house and I ended up sleeping there. My mom and dad got me another test, one of the digital tests where if you pee on it, it says pregnant or not pregnant. That way we knew for sure. We weren't just guessing or assuming. And so my dad picked me up the next day and I peed on a stick and it said pregnant. It said I was about 6 weeks along, and we made a doctor's appointment. I ended up going in for my doctor's appointment and telling him everything. We got the due date of May 4th, 2020. Out of the whole experience, like finding out I was pregnant and just everything like that, I think I was more nervous about how people would react to it than how I would react to it, because I wasn't worried. Like I knew if I wasn't pregnant, like cool, I could just keep living my life, hopefully make some better decisions for myself, but continue living my life. If I was pregnant, then I knew that I could handle it. I knew that my family would support me. I knew that this baby would be loved no matter what, because I know my boyfriend, he really wanted to be a father, and I knew that like I had nothing to worry about. Everybody would support me. I would have everybody there for me, and I have. I'm around 18 weeks pregnant now, and the amount of support I've gotten from my friends and family and his family are just, it's incredible how many people are happy and excited for this baby, and I'm glad that this child will be born into a world where everybody seems to love him or her. Yeah, that's the story of how I found out I was pregnant. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Bye guys.